So here we have the black and white photo of our still life composition, and I've added a grid on top of it just to make the drawing process a little easier. So here you can see I have sketched out the, um, the frame of the composition, and I have placed the exact same grid onto my drawing that is in the photograph. And I have this on fast speed so you can just sort of see how I'm doing this and follow along. I'm basically looking at my laptop that has the photograph full screen, and I'm following from quadrant to quadrant to just check my proportions of each one of the shapes, right? So I'm really just trying to look at the outlines of every single piece of fruit, and I'm looking at the negative space of the background to just help me with my proportions. The main lines that you're going to get in here is the horizon line, which is actually a diagonal in this photograph, and all the shapes of the fruit. Try to be mindful about how hard you're pressing your pencil against the paper, because the pencil is really only here to get the outlines in, and if you're someone who tends to press really hard, it's just going to be more difficult to erase. I press hard, but here you can see me erasing some of my darkest lines, because the moment you get watercolor on top of your pencil lines, it's going to pretty much trap it into the paper. So you really just want your pencil lines to guide this process, and then you're going to erase as much as you can. You will erase your grid lines as well, because the grid lines are present only to help you with your proportions as you draw. So you can see what I'm doing here. I've erased most of my the dark areas of graphite, and I kind of have left a light outline. I've decided to do my painting in sort of a Prussian blue color, so I'm going to be using the entire value range of Prussian blue for this, and I'm starting with a very light translucent wash. So somewhere very low on the value scale, like maybe just like the step right after pure white, but really trying to keep very much water in relation to the pigment. So proportions of water are really high. And it's just adding in my first wash. And I'm looking at the photograph the entire time just to get my first layer in. So obviously I'm going to eventually use the entire value range, but for now I'm just kind of mapping out where do I see those dark areas.